you give of yourself. So naturally and honorably, we thank you all for your time and wish us all fruitful deliberations today. God bless and one love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asma. All right, thank you so much, Asma. Just like you said, a basic access to clean water is a basic human right, and we all should have access to clean water, both drinkable and even for domestic use. Without wasting any of our time, I would like to go straight to the keynote address for today, which someone we've all been waiting for because we believe probably he might had probably more money for you guys because I heard he's a very hefty man. Please welcome on stage Mr. Abiola Oshuni, the co-founder, the Baddeley Institute. I think you can do better. I just believe you can do better. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be speaking at such an epoch event around WASH, specifically focused on innovation and technology around WASH. I would like to congratulate IHS for putting together this event together with NCAIC and FMDQ, because one of the very biggest things that we see is, when we speak about greenwashing and a lot of people speaking, to just what they want to do without necessarily, showing evidence that they are actually doing it. Every year I've been opportune to look at organizations, say they set aside some money either as CSR or as sustainability investment. But when you begin to look at what the tangibles, the outcomes, the real deliverables, you're not able to really touch a few things that you can actually go home with. I would like to start, and it's quite interesting that the person that came before me used one of my favorite quotes. I would like to start with two quotes that I'm really fond of, but speaks to the importance of today's event and us coming together, really driving change within the WASH sector. And one of it is from Mahatma Gandhi, and it says, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." One of the biggest things we often see is people talk about they want to see change, but I like to say that, and riding on what she said, change actually begins with you. If I want to make change in the world, I should be the one driving that change that I want to see. I should be a mirror of that change I want to see. I should be that light. The second one is from Alan Kay. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. Now, unfortunately for us, we want to live in a future that we've not even invented. I was in a session yesterday, and we were talking about the concept of executive functioning within the concept of psychology and human philosophy. And it's very, very well known that if you want to achieve a goal, there are certain things you need to do to get there. If we want to get to a future in Nigeria where open defecation becomes zero, where, open dumping, and we're able to convert our waste. And I'll use a typical example. I was speaking to somebody recently. He works with one of the global brands around sports in the world. And one of the things he was saying was that the brand is looking to be able to move what they are doing in terms of using reusable sides of things, right? There's a concept of, I have provided a reusable product, but I may not be reusing the product within my supply chain, right? But they're saying they want to be able to reuse 95% of whatever is in their product value chain in their product again. Essentially, it means that they are not going to go and get new single-use sources, single-use raw materials. And that is very valuable when you're thinking about things around water, sanitation, and hygiene. And for many of us, we're thinking of it more only from probably the side of technology that we were probably conversant with, or probably the side of things that we're conversant with. But during this conversation, I'll share with you that even what we know as our feces, our urine, are potent raw materials, potent points of energy that can be reused because they're actually there. We can reuse them for very valuable things. I remember on a short visit to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and I noticed something very early in the morning when I woke up. I felt a sort of whiff in the air, from urine, and I was worrying, asking people, why am I smelling urine quite early in the morning? I wake up quite early, about 5 a.m., take a walk, get back to my room, about 6:30, but I was smelling urine in the air. And what they told me was that the city is designed in such a way that the flowers, Sharm el-Sheikh is in Egypt, and of course we know Egypt is an arid region, and they are actually using the urine to water the plants directly. So essentially, it's a recycled society. They would have needed to buy a lot of, imagine, a lot of, of course there'll be water. They would have needed to buy a lot of fertilizers to actually make the plants grow. But they are using something that has come to them naturally, free. What they're only doing is packaging, treating, and then reusing. So sometimes when we think about solutions, and working within innovation for over 20 years, sometimes the simpler it is, the more greater impact it may even have. Within our context, if you know how much refuse we generate on a single day as the city of Lagos, we're sitting on a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, but we do not yet value it enough. For those of us that, may probably have been born, I'm looking at the crowd, may have been born in the 70s, in the 80s, you would remember the Enron IPP project that was supposed to happen in Lagos, in the first democratic dispensation of Lagos, right? If you remember, we were supposed to have an IPP plant at the Ojota plant that was supposed to actually be harvesting the methane. If you're not aware of it, you should remember that there was something that was supposed to happen. We're supposed to stone that long years of refuse there. We were supposed to be harvesting methane. Today, Lagos would have had an independent power plant from the methane that is at Ojota based off of the refuse. But of course, we know Enron went down the drain. But the idea in itself, or in of itself, the innovation in of itself, is something that is valuable for us to understand. And innovation and invention have played a significant role in the growth of global economies, anywhere you think about it. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, innovation and invention accounted for 30% of global economic growth between 1995 and 2017. According to the same organization, the growth between 1995, according to the WIPO, intellectual property intensive industries contributed approximately 38% of global GDP in 2018 alone. The top 10 economies of the world invested $782 billion in research and development to drive innovation and invention. Why am I saying all of this? Today, we speak about economic growth. And we're an economy that has literally focused on primarily on oil and gas. But today, we do recognize that there are things that are within our reach that can be used as significant economic levers if we just choose to invest in them. And that was why I was congratulating IHS for actually working on this with FMDQ and the NCIC. Because it is when we are deliberate about investing in something that we can get value from it. For the sake of time, there are two things I would like to say here. And I'd like to define a few terms. Two of them I've mentioned before, which is innovation and invention. Why am I defining this? Innovation is the process of taking an existing idea or technology and improving it to make it more efficient, more effective, and more importantly, more profitable. One of the biggest problems with innovations within the African space is that we do not have the capacity to commercialize our innovation yet well enough, despite the fact that we have scale. Today, Lagos is probably one of the most bubbling cities in Africa. But the question of it is, and I was reading a Forbes analysis, that Lagos just lost about 100, just came down on the list of cities with billionaires that live in them. It lost about 100 billionaires just in the last 1 year. What is making us lose those people? How can we retain wealth? If I don't live somewhere, there's a tendency that I might not invest in that place. If I don't live somewhere, if I don't see the value in a society, there's a tendency I might not give back into it. And on the other hand, in contrast, invention is the process of creating something entirely new, such as new product, service, or process. For example, the invention of telephone by Alexander Graham Bell, which of course many of us in science or that have read history, was an entirely new idea. When I was walking into this hall or this venue, I saw the word idea written boldly on the wall. The question is, and I put this challenge to those that are going to be pitching today and everybody in this room. We're in Africa where unconsciously our society is disaggregated and there's a lot of things that are not coordinated yet. We're in a society where opportunities literally abound every corner that we look. What I will do with waste recycling in Lagos, what I will do with a pedal pusher for water in a community in Nigeria, I cannot do it in the West because there's a system that already operates, that is effective, that is efficient, that is gone ahead of its time. So we're in a society where innovation and inventions are required. We're in a society where innovation and invention will literally set us apart and let us catch up. And we've had such innovations and inventions in other sections that we already know. I dare say, the first time I heard about M-Pesa, and I did a deep dive into the M-Pesa, and I looked at our own instant money, our instant transfer system. I can tell you there are many countries in the world, in Europe, that don't do an instant transfer. It will take them +2, +3 days. But our uniqueness as a people, if I'm going to transfer or do a transaction with you, I don't trust you too well to believe that the money is there. You want to see an instant alert. Based off our peculiarity, we developed a technology that allowed us to be able to get notification for transactions immediately. That is something we should be proud of as a people. Our peculiarity does not make us disadvantaged. Our peculiarity is an advantage for global competitiveness. And that is one thing I want you to always think about. Everything or anything we innovate here, and I'll use an example within the wash section. I've worked in health and technology for a bit, and you know what we call the door-to-door campaigning for contact tracing today that was done a lot during the COVID. It was developed in Africa because of the peculiarity of Africa. But that was the same solution that the world adopted when COVID hit. It was an African innovation, and it was exported to the world. Every innovation that we create here is exportable somewhere. Just from a geographic advantage, you have over 1.3 billion people. That is a market size for you. I don't think about Nigeria every time I think about an innovation and an invention for Africa. I think about the whole of Africa. The peculiarities of Nigeria is similar to that of Ghana, is similar to that of Kenya, is similar to that of South Africa. You will be shocked that if I design a solution for rural context in Nigeria, I say Nigeria, I dare say Nigeria is 37 countries in one, because each state has its own peculiarity. So if I can design for 37 countries, why can't I design for another additional 54 countries? Now it's become 55 because of South Sudan. Yeah. So I want us to always understand that, I don't have to, and that's why I talked about the concept of invention and innovation. I don't have to create something absolutely new. I might just improve on a process. I might just make something look better. I might just make it more efficient. And today, one of the biggest things that I've seen is people, and I like the tech innovation space. Sometimes, I want to refer to the public health space. There was something that was called pilotitis for a while in Africa, where a lot of innovations came into Africa and were trying to solve a healthcare problem. And you will notice that small innovations, maybe in a small county, in a small local government, in a small province, was piloted by an international development organization. The next doors, you'll find such an innovation again, and it was a digital health problem. There was a lot of innovations. I see that happening within the financial services sector, where you find a lot of, mobile payments, mobile systems. But the question I always often ask myself is are they enough still? Because if you look at the number of unbanked people in Nigeria, similar, if you look at the number of people that do not have access to clean water, and access to toilets, and access to actually, correct and appropriate conditioning for management of their waste, then you will realize that there are not yet enough innovations and solutions in Nigeria. And every time I speak about Nigeria, I'm sorry, I would keep saying Africa. So just understand that with me. Because I want you to have a mentality that I am not creating for Alimosho. I am not creating for even Lagos State. I am not creating just for Nigeria. I am creating at a minimum for Africa. It changes the mindset that you have. It changes the kind of tenacity that you bring to the game. It changes the kind of research and the value proposition that you provide. One of the biggest things I've seen is, and I don't want to go into, I have here in my notes things around the types of innovations, disruptive innovations as made by Clayton Christensen, sustained innovation that we've seen in the Toyota Kaizen, Pfizer, iPhone updates and Microsoft updates, radical innovations and incremental innovations. But, more importantly is around the concept that whilst we are creating all these new ideas, one of the key takeaways I want every innovator to take from this place, and I see everybody in this room as an innovator, is the idea that I can actually get value for my innovation. Beyond the pitch today, what would happen to your innovation? If you've never heard about it before, your innovation can be patented. Your innovation can be commercialized. If I have a patent right on my innovation, right? If I have an IP on my innovation, I can sell my IP. Today, Steve Jobs is gone as an innovator, but his IP remains. And for as much as every time they create a new iPhone, there is value to the Steve Jobs name. Today, one of the greatest, most philanthropic organizations is the BMGF, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But that is literally coming from a gentleman that chose to give his wealth to doing good, but from the idea that he created first an innovation, which was Microsoft, or what we call today the Microsoft suite, right? So every innovation that you want to have, or you create, or you have created, is capable of revolutionizing the world, and is capable of making so many people rich, is capable of making you a multi-billionaire in dollars, not in naira. And dollar is the real stable currency, right? Everybody loves the value of the dollar. And one of the biggest things is that it's capable of creating jobs. And the things that you would never have thought you would be able to do, you are capable of doing them. You're capable of touching a million lives. You are capable of changing how the world sees Nigeria. You are capable of changing how the world sees Africa. I have in my notes here, and I'm about to round up, is one of the biggest things I would love to see coming out of this event is beyond the innovations, beyond the fact that you move on to go and see how to patent your innovation, is to see more that can happen from the private sector of Africa, investing in innovations in Africa, investing in building a landscape of where innovations can keep growing in Africa. I have in my note here that Africa only invested about 0.5% of its GDP in R&D in the last 1 year. And the primary places where that is coming from is literally from Morocco and South Africa, plus Egypt. We have, every time I speak to people from Kenya, South Africa, and other places, they keep saying Nigeria is the capital of Africa, but we don't use direct our capital even internally to grow in our own capital. Every single person here is a potential multi-billionaire if he's invested in appropriately. Can we begin to create the environment? Because if you look at it, many of innovators that we hear about, from Paystack to Flutterwave, think about it that they never had the opportunity of traveling out of Nigeria or staying. They literally stayed only in Nigeria. Think of it that Philip Emeagwali stayed in Nigeria. Philip Emeagwali actually is one of the people they call the fathers of modern computers today. Imagine he never went to America. And I dare say, imagine you brought Bill Gates to Nigeria. And Bill Gates was born in Nigeria. Imagine Steve Jobs was born in Nigeria. Would he be as successful? How can we begin to create the enabling environment that allows us to create wealth through investment in people? And that is the real R&D that we need. Many of us have gone to universities. We know there's something we call the final year projects that we do, and those things stay on the shelf or they rot away. It's just an academic exercise. When do we move from the concept of just an academic exercise to turning it into an economic enterprise? I was in Dublin Business School at one point, and one of the things I started seeing across different parts of Europe is a convergence of like minds. You see the academia, you see the private sector, you see the innovators, and you see the people that have the problems. They bring it to a single hub, and the problem is solved. So it's a real problem that is solved by real people that have real solutions, and there's real value for it. Essentially, people get wealth for solving problems. IHS has internal problems. FMDQ has internal problems that needs people to solve. Those people are you, seated here. There are people that are Nigerians that can solve the problem. The moment we begin to solve, money responds to value, or value responds to value. The moment we solve those problems, then we can begin to think about, are we truly moving the continent forward? Are we truly moving Nigeria forward? Are we truly generating wealth? Are we truly creating innovation? WASH might be a small bucket at the end of the day as a social innovation, but it might be a significant bucket that we might use and we can use to move Africa significantly forward, from access to drinking water to just recycling our defecation into something valuable. I did a bit of agric, so I know that I can live on a farm that is totally recyclable. All my pig waste was usually recycled. It became manure. I've seen people use waste for briquettes before. So it is doable. There's nothing impossible with innovation. And I would like to end on this note, that first of all, I want to congratulate everyone who's going to pitch the idea today in this fair. I want to welcome you to the future. And the reason why I want to welcome you to the future is you have broken the barrier of, can I create something? One of the biggest problems is the ability to say, I want to create something, going ahead to do it, then even failing at it. There is nobody that has succeeded that does not have a failure story or failure stories. Let us continue to drive innovation and invention in the watch sector and other sectors. for the betterment of our continent and the world at large. And I would like to conclude on two of my other favorite quotes. One is from the Dalai Lama. Yes, there was a bit of controversy recently around the Dalai Lama. And you know, one thing he said is that there are 2 days in the year that you can do nothing about. One is yesterday, and the other is tomorrow. Whatever you want to do for tomorrow, you do today. Whatever you want tomorrow to be, you make it happen today. As much as we have a lot of disarray and gaps within the Nigerian system, it creates a great opportunity for us to innovate, to invent, and to commercialize those innovations for ourselves and grow our society and become more prosperous. So if you're thinking about becoming a billionaire, Africa is probably the best place to be for you to become a billionaire quickly. The second is, you know, from Nelson Mandela, sharing with Winnie when they were married. He says, difficulties break some men, but make others. No matter how, you know, an axe is sharp enough to cut the soul of a sinner who keeps trying, one armed with the hope he will rise even in the end, regardless of what happens. So far you keep at it. Please keep innovating, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side of innovations and success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, there is so many things he said, and I won't like to rephrase because of our time. So I'll move straight to the next thing on the agenda, which is very important, keeping the house rules and pitching process by Suleiman Ibrahim. Please, can you welcome Suleiman Ibrahim? Please, this is the very, very important part. He's going to tell us the process of pitching and the rules for pitching. So if you miss this, you might as well miss on.
Good morning, everyone. So I'll run everyone through the participation guide for the jury session. The first is this platform is going to be a hybrid event, and we would also have some of our innovators pitch virtually. The second is the pitch format. Every participant will pitch alongside their pitch deck in line with the pitch guidelines that were initially communicated. The third is the pitch time. A startup is allotted a total of 7 minutes. The first 5 minutes will be used to present startup ideas as pitch, whilst the startup will have 2 minutes to respond to questions from the jury at this event. The fourth is the time prompt. The startup will be prompted by a buzzer or moderator to start, and another buzzer at the end of 5 minutes to stop. Microphones will be put on mute at expiration of the first minute, 5 minutes, and enabled afterwards to start up questions of the jury. Asking questions. Judges who wish to ask a question must indicate by raising of hands. The moderator will call on a judge who has raised a hand to speak. The use of the microphone. At all times, a judge must have his or her microphone on mute. A judge may only unmute his or herself at the appropriate time or when needed to ask a question. Thank you. I think at this point, we will go into the next phase of this event, and apologies for the time delay. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Suleiman. Please, can you applaud Suleiman again? All right, quickly to introduce the judges, please help me welcome Mr. Emmanuel Etede, the Executive Secretary and the organizer of this event. Please clap for Mr. Emmanuel. I know what I'm saying. He can decide to close this event right now.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tosin. I won't close the event. First, my role is very simple. to introduce the high-level judges, but I think it would be remiss of us not to recognize the technical judges that also helped us to get to this stage. So permit me to just appreciate Mr. Damian Ude, Associate Director, Regulatory Affairs, IHS Nigeria, Ms. Asmao Somaila, Senior Manager, Sustainability and Corporate Communications, IHS Nigeria, Mr. Emeka Gerald Enwere, Senior Manager, Business Development Commercial, IHS Nigeria, Mr. Suleiman Ibrahim himself, the Manager at ESG and Sustainability Communications, IHS Nigeria, Ms. Victoria Ekpele, who is the Program Officer at the Danish Consulate. Please, let's appreciate them. Mr. Adeto Kumbo Dosumu, Vice President, Product Engineering, IQS Consult, FMDQ Group. Let's appreciate him. And Mr. Olu Rahim, who is the Trade Commissioner for Finland in West Africa. These are the technical judges that helped us to screen the candidates from the stage of, getting through the process of reducing them from the about 80 people that qualify from the call for entry to the top 20 that we are going to pitch today for the prized positions. Now, for today's event, we have another set of judges who are called the high-level judges, and have been asked to announce their names. So I start with Ms. Ejeme Okoje, who is the Director, Organizational Development and Talent Management, IHS Nigeria. A round of applause for her. Mr. Oluwasegun Alao, Director, Project Management Office, IHS Nigeria. Let's clap for them as they move to their seats in front. Dr. Natalie Benish, Executive Director, Secular Economy Innovation Partnership, and a very strong, committed supporter of this project from the first edition. Thank you, Natalie. By now, you should be very familiar with this route. You've become a veteran. Thanks for coming. And Mr. Andrew Airy, the Head of Competence Center, Energy and Environment at the DGIC International Business Services Limited. Andrew is a strong supporter of this project. He took the risk of, navigating his way down here. It's part of being his very first time. And then last but not the least, Mr. Olabode Ojo, Director, Technical Fiber Operations, IHS Nigeria. Thank you very much. Tosi?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, once again. All right, I don't know, can you please give Mr. Emmanuel a round of applause? All right, before I start calling the participants, please, we're about to start, and we'll really adhere to the street rules. 5 minutes to pitch, 2 minutes for the questions. Per participants, I'm very sorry, the judges, we can only take 3 questions per each participant so that we don't waste so many of our time today. I would like to know if you're all comfortable and or if you have any questions regarding the template in front of us. So for each of those scores, you have to score them on 5. 5 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. I don't hope anybody will get 0 anyways. All right. Do you have any questions? Okay, I think the judges are ready for us. All right. So I would call you, you come on stage, and you have 5 minutes, then we'll start. So to start today is all right. So to start today, one thing about our innovators is when I was going through the names, they have peculiar names. I've been rehearsing to make sure I call some of those names. All right, after this event, you guys will have to explain where your names are coming from. But to start, please welcome on stage Mr. I think I'll just use your business name. because I don't know who's representing you. So please welcome on stage Chronijaz Technology. This gentleman here flew all the way from Kano. Please warm round of applause. All right, so Treasure, please get ready. Harley Green, get ready. Junkyard, get ready. All right. Yes. All right, I'll prompt you when you're ready. Are you ready? Okay. You'll be helped with your pitch deck. No, you can't control your slide. All right, are you ready for us? All right, are you ready? Your time starts now.
Okay. They said water is life, but water killed my sister. Good morning, everyone. My name is Henry Lamba, and I'm the CEO of Schrödinger Technology. And we are solving a global crisis of lack of access to safe drinking water and affordable electricity. One day, my sister came back from school. She looked so weak and tired. My mom discovered that she was sick, so she called her closer and checked her eyes and saw that the color of her eyes were changing in color. She noticed that she was sick, so she picked her up and rushed her to the nearest healthcare center at Danzakara village, close to my community in Kaduna State. But before they got to the hospital, my sister died. Later on, it was found out that she died of cholera because she had been taking contaminated water from the school tap and also from our home, which is unsafe for drinking. In my community, Danzakara village, majority of people see water clean to the eyes and assume it is safe for drinking, without knowing that this water contains pathogenic microorganisms like viruses and bacteria, which are very harmful and dangerous to their health. According to World Health Organization, approximately 800 children die from diarrheal diseases, that is one child every 20 seconds. Over 2.2 billion people still don't have access to safe drinking water globally. Next slide, please. There are local and conventional solutions used to make water safe for drinking. But imagine boiling water using charcoal or firewood. It is expensive, time-consuming, and has negative influence to our environment, which was global warming. What about using purification tablets? Next. Purification tablet has negative influence to the user's health on the long run. Next, please. One of the common solutions is consuming water through plastic packaged water, which is quite affordable, but has high negative influence to the environment in the sense that it causes plastic pollution, it affects our agricultural production, and at the end of the day, most of the plastic packaging water companies, they are not after the health of their consumers. What they are after is their profit. So they just package water that is untreated and they get their money. Next slide. To solve this problem, we developed Rainlight, a portable water disinfection system that is capable of purifying 6 liters of contaminated water into a safe drinking water within 90-second operation and remove 99.9% microorganisms from the water and make it safe for drinking within 90 seconds of operation. The system is very durable and also has 2 electricity features embedded in the system, a light bulb and also a small charging station for emergency in case of no electricity. Also, the system is affordable and has 2 sources of energy, one from the solar and one from the hand crank mechanisms. If there is no sun or there is no electricity, you can use the hand crank mechanisms to power the system. Next slide. Our technology is very simple. The concept behind the design is just to be simple to operate and also maintain. Just with a screwdriver, you can easily maintain the system. And it works in 3 simple stages. Next, please. The power, no, previous. Play this. The power, the filtration, and also the disinfection. There's a video here, please. So, in the power stage, it absorbs energy from the stored solar energy, and then it pumps the DC pump, which helps pump the water, and then transfer the contaminated water into a reverse osmosis system where it has a nanofilter that traps the virus and bacteria and also the solid particles inside the water and allowed only the solvent to pass. At this stage, the water is clean to the eyes but not safe for drinking. To make it safe for drinking, next, it passes through the UV light, which helps to disinfect the bonds and virus, the bonds of the virus and bacteria to make it safe for drinking. Within just 90 seconds of operation, you have a safe drinking water. Next slide, please. Our competitors are the portable aqua, the local conventional solution using charcoal, and also Nestle, one of the big brands in Nigeria today. Nestle product is quite affordable, but it has negative influence to the environment. We have firewood, which is free, but has high negative influence to climate. It causes global warming. And also the portable alcohol, which is quite affordable, but it has high negative influence to the user's health on a long run. Our system is better than theirs because it has high filtration rate. It is a multifunctional device. It works with or without electricity. It is a chemical-free purification system. It has a total capacity of 6 liters. It is portable and refillable and provide basic electricity features. Next. Our beachhead market is here in Nigeria. Next, please. Whereby we are out of our available market of 82 million, we are targeting only 2 million users by the year 2032 at the valuation of 44
Please,
million.
time up, round up in 10 seconds. Thank you.
All right.
Round up in 10 seconds.
Thank you, sir. Next, please. And then we are targeting 880 million, 40 million customers in sub-Saharan Africa at a valuation of $880 million.
And that will be
globally.
all. Please, question from the judges. Thank you. Can I go? All right, do you have a question from the judges? Any question? Can I use the mic? Yes.
Hi, thank you very much. I must applaud you for a well-prepared presentation. I think it's very good, and I think your innovation is quite good. But my question is, looking at your comparative analysis, looking at the other products, Nestle and the others, you clearly could tell that your product was the most expensive. And as currently, you're already telling us your target market and then your the sizing of how you intend to penetrate the other markets in the sub-Saharan Africa. But then again, you also did not really let us know, I think maybe because of time, how you intend to, let's say, penetrate the market, looking at the high cost of your product.
Okay. Actually, we try to make our product very affordable, even for the people at the bottom of the pyramid, because they are our major target. And comparing with the conventional solutions such as Nestle, consuming it every day, by the time you accumulate this price, you see that at the end of the month, what you consume can actually buy our products, which will last you a very long time without what? Maintenance and other things. That is what makes our system more affordable, and we are targeting people majorly at the bottom of the pyramid who suffer from lack of access to safe drinking water. I didn't mean there's much time. I didn't have control of my slide. I will have been faster, and I will have shown you where I want to penetrate the market, whereby we are trying to work on a double A triple square method, whereby we are going to, first of all, make orientation of our product. That is awareness, and then we are going to sell the product, give them a test. We have already tested our product in the market, and they are willing to buy it, and we are just in need of money to be able to pump more products into the market to be able to scale more better. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions from any of the judges?
Maybe for clarity's sake, I was more concerned about looking at the low pyramid, right?
Yes,
Those
yes, sir.
that can't really afford a $44 or $45 product.
Yes, sir.
What's the context? How do you intend to let them afford this product?
Absolutely. For those ones that cannot be able to afford those products, we are into waste plastic recycling in the sense that they gather waste plastic, we collect it, we use it to remodel our containers, and also sell it to them as an exchange of what they give based on what we have. So once it's worth it, we give it to them and then we collect it back. And also, we also bring whereby they can be able to pay subsequently on installments for people over there that cannot be able to afford it directly. And thirdly, we also partner with NGOs to be able to subsidize the price for them, to be able to get the system, and then it's going to make them safe for drinking.
All right, go ahead, ma.
Okay, all right. Well done, very impressive.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm curious, I know you didn't have time to walk us through your team on management,
Yeah, please can you-
and also to give us a sense of the shelf life of the product that costs $45. All right. Thank you.
Please move to the last slide. In our team selection, there is diversity and inclusion, in the sense that we combined, we implement. So we have a whole of experience both in the management, technical, research and development, and also consultations. And we have 3 advisory board members, which is Holy Sheffield, we have Dr. Emmy, and we have Professor Madi Mokoyo, in which Holy Sheffield is the partner director of Salesforce. Dr. Emmy is an industrial information expert and is the deputy director of Defense Industry Corporation in Kaduna State. And Professor Madi Mokoyo, a professor, is from Bayero University, Kano, who is a design and innovative expert. So through them, we are able to develop our product, test run it, and we are trying to scale up now with their advice and also their guidance. Thank you, ma'am.
Shelf life.
Okay. For the shelf life of our product, I don't get clarity about what you're saying. I'm a bit slow in English.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me so it costs $45.
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
and
ma'am.
you say that the capacity is, I think,
6 liters.
So how many times can you use that product? For how long?
The system can purify 6 liters of contaminated water within 90 seconds of operation. That is, every 90 seconds, you have a
Yes,
chance of
yes.
purifying more water.
No, we understand that. I think how many times can it purify? How long?
Okay.
How many 6
Oh,
liters?
okay, we have a filter, a nano filter inside. By the time you observe that the filter is slow in purifying the water, that means the shelf life is over. You need to change the filter. That's why we generate more of our revenue.
How much is that filter?
The filter is just 200 naira. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. That will be all.
Sorry, one last question, please. So what's the approach for powering the device?
Okay, it's a very simple approach. We have the solar system and also the hand crank mechanisms. The solar system gains energy from the sun and store it in the battery, whereby it serves by powering the pump and also the UV light. In the absence of electricity or during rainy season when the sun is less efficient, or at night when there is no sun, that is when you can use emergency hand crank mechanisms. And by rotating it within 90 seconds, it will give you a safe drinking water for drinking.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harry Lamba. I so much like his name, Henry Lamba. All right, the next on the schedule is Mr. Why am I saying Mr.? Rich Treasure. Is the treasure here? Please, a warm round of applause. All right, before he starts, let me just say to the judges, I'll be going according to the schedule on your list. I'll follow the same schedule so it will be easier for you to access. All right. Yeah. Then please, once they ask questions, don't really explain too much, just give your answer. All right, thank you. Your time starts. Are you ready? Rich Treasure, please. Are you ready? Please, let's have it on the screen. Ayo, can you please help me with the... Please, oh. Technical, should I beg you? Should I be on my knee? The next person, why? His file is not working. Ha. All right. Come back to you. Can you please go down and sort your... You came from the slide. All right, please. Judges, he has issues with his slide, so we'll move to the next person. So please welcome on stage Harley Green. Please, as you are coming up, please pray against your village people.
Yeah. Please, can you put on my slide?
I think I'll have to work there myself.
See you. needs everything now. So I don't even know how I'm here.
Are you in medicine?
Yeah, being on. Tomorrow's one won't be. Tomorrow's one is like a fun day. So I don't have to be here. Yeah, it's represent.
Please, apologies. Just give us a few minutes to sort this out.
I think I had Suleiman send it to me. Let me check.
Another product or service you can add to that. Like, that was my.
All right, apologies for that. Apparently, it's not your village people, it's the laptop's village people. So, are you ready? Your time starts now.
Have you ever imagined drinking from your pool? Irritating, right? I bet it is. This is, however, the situation facing over 90% of households drinking from water contaminated from 10,000 viruses, leading to 117,000 children deaths in Nigeria annually. This is the highest death ever recorded for any nation. This is due to the use of local or conventional septic tank, popularly called soakaway, whose content goes into the ground and contaminating the nearby wells and borehole. Climate change is also having effects, according to UNICEF. Few years back, while staying with my uncle around Shakpati, Haja, Lagos, due to the waterlogged community, water from the ground always mixes up with the septic tank and contaminates the nearby wells and borehole. We have this neighboring family with a boy of age of 4, called Ade. Ade is very fond of me. I would always welcome me each time I come back from work. On this very day, I came back from work to be received by my friend Ade, but I couldn't find him. Then I asked after him, and I was being told that the news I got was the demise of my friend Ade. I was shocked, and that was the longest night I ever had in my whole entire life. As I struggled to sleep, I vowed to make sure that I find a solution to solve this problem of water contamination, because Ade has just died from a preventable waterborne disease, diarrhea. That was why we at Aligreen have designed and developed look-box solution to treat and recycle human waste into gas that can be used for domestic use, and also its byproduct is a biofertilizer that can be used to boost food production. And we are also developing an AI app that helps detect early disease from poo, so that people like Ade, my friend, would not lose their life to a preventable waterborne disease such as diarrhea. Warm greetings to you all. My name is Rashid, co-founder at Green. I'm a climate and energy innovator. And my complaint is replacing septic tank with our novel biotechnology solution, loop box, in urban and suburban waterlogged community in Nigeria. Next slide, please. Our deal is to replace loop box in peri-urban community at 800,000 naira per unit. Next slide. It costs about 700 to 1 million naira to build septic tank in waterlogged community in Lagos. And with our product, we'll be saving our client 200,000 naira. And more so, our customers also have the benefit of generating clean energy that can be used for domestic use, such as cooking, eating, ensure a customer of 100% prevention, water contamination, and disease outbreak. They also have the benefit of generating carbon credit from wastewater recycling. And we offer free maintenance for a year, instrumental payment, and remote function monitoring to ensure that our product is working efficiently at every point in time. Our product also helps detect early disease so that people like Ade will be saved before the disease actually takes their life. Next slide, please. Starting off from our beachhead market with an estimate of about 100,000, we targeted just 5% of our beachhead market, which gives us about 5,000 households. With our cost product of about 800,000, that gives us a serviceable, obtainable market of 4 billion naira. Next slide, please. And this is Loopbox. Loopbox is a novel biotechnology solution that treats and recycles human waste into gas for domestic use, and also AI hub that helps detect early disease from poo. Next slide, please. And this is what differentiates us from every other of our competitors in markets. With product helps solve water contamination, curb disease outbreak, ensure carbon credits to generate energy. We give them price for value, remote function monitoring, and which has distinguished us from every of our competitors in markets and make us the top choice for our clients. Next slide, please. And in our customer discovery, we interviewed 100 households in Naija, 30 real estate developer, and 20 construction engineer. And the feedback we got was the high cost and low efficiency of using this local conventional.
Please round up in 10 seconds.
Water contamination, and we are calling experts of evacuating this septic tank as the water fill up and contaminate. And this was the yardstick we used in building house to be more affordable and highly efficient, solve water contamination, and they do not need to evacuate because this water is continuously being recycled.
That will be all, please. Thank you so much, Rashid. Do you have a question from the judges?
How do I do it? Oh, thank you for the presentation. I guess it's a clarifying question. So have you piloted the loop box already?
Yeah, we've piloted our minimum viable product.
Okay.
That is the one we showed. We might take it back. You might take it back. This is it.
So, but could you describe a little bit about the functionalities in a little bit more detail, particularly around the measurement or the detection of illness as well?
Okay.
Thank you.
So what it does is that definitely when you build a house, you will have a septic tank to it. And this is a conventional septic tank, and whenever there is a rainfall, there is a flood, there is a water coming in that actually take over and fill up this septic tank. But with our product, which is built with plastic, it does not have it does not allow the water to penetrate, and at the same time, it's designed for a household of about seven people, and which with this product now, it will recycle their human defecate and household waste, such as food waste, into biogas. So it's this biogas that will be used for cooking and also for other functions, such as eating in bedroom and the likes. So, and for the AI hub, it's still in motion. We've developed, we are still in motion, and this is why we are here, because this funding will help us to be able to finish with prototyping and design. We want to we'll design an hardware that will be attached to the water closet. So whenever you pour your defecate into the closet, there's an AI hub that leverage machine learning and AI to take data from this pool, and this data would be worked on to identify the actual disease from the pool. So after that, it will then send you a message about the health status of your condition. That is how the AI app works. I hope that answers your question, or you will not clear, probably I need some clarification more. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would always be curious about your team. Do you have a slide about your team?
Yeah, I have a team. The last slide, please. The last slide. The last slide. Okay, for my team, I'm a trained and certified climate change expert by Climate School of Oxford University, and also have business executive training from Lagos Business School. And I also have Habib Lasisi on my team as an robotics and AI expert. We are leveraging on him, on his expertise, working with multinationals to build these innovative products. We also have Gabriel Simon on my team as well. He has worked with multinationals such as Friesla, Campilla, PZ Cuisine to solve wastewater solution. We are working together to ensure that we provide a market-fit product for our customers that solve their problems for them. And we also have a customer representative, chief marketing, who is in person of Binta. Binta has experience working with RideMe and other startup. We are leveraging on our expertise to communicate and direct our information rightly to our customers. Thanks. And together, we intend